Now I'm the president of 44,000 alumni community. And we are one alumni community and we have chapters all over. And amongst the alumni community, I have never seen this kind of. Nobody ever talks about this. So who are these people who are inventing this? That the IIT alumni or IITs are casteist. IITs are contributing in a big way for the development of India and growth of India. And when it is, I say growth of India, it is the development of comprehensive national power of India. So any attack on IITs is actually attack on development and growth of India. I compliment you, Raji, for identifying these threats and actually propagating, again reinforcing the merit-based criteria, which is the sole criteria for excellence.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I was chairman of the committee formed by the Ministry of Education to decide about faculty reservations in IITs, how to implement faculty reservations in IITs. That committee had, along with me, while I was a chairman, Director IIT Kanpur, Director IIT Roorkee, Registrar IIT Bombay. So all 5 IITs were, 7 IITs were represented in some way. And so these are the 3 reasons on which I am qualified to probably speak on this topic. And I have read the book. I think the book takes an academic view of meritocracy versus the casteism and all that. I think that's all right. And but I will only talk about the administrative issues of these implementations and their repercussions.
To commence the event, I would be inviting dignitaries on the podium. I would first request Lieutenant General Vishwambar Singh, AVSM, VSM, to come on the stage, please, sir. Lieutenant General Singh is an alumnus of IIT. He has served in Indian Army for 38 years and has represented India in 2 Asian Games. He is currently the president of IITR Alumni Association. Thank you for being here, sir. Next, I would request Professor V. Ram Gopal Rao to come to the podium. Professor Rao is currently the Pillai Chair Professor in EE and the immediate former director of IIT Delhi. Professor Rao has published over 480 research papers on nanoelectronics and sensors and holds over 50 patents. He is also a co-founder of 2 deep technology startups at IIT Bombay. Thank you for being here, sir. I would now request for the formal release of the book by all the panelists. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. A very good morning and Jai Hind to everybody present here. Rajivji, when it was mentioned to me that I have to be a panelist here on this book titled Battle for IITs, I thought initially it is a battle to get into IITs and how one should be encouraging youngsters to prepare themselves to get into the IITs, being product of one of the IITs myself. Little realizing actually it's a threat to the very existence of the IITs in India and the system of the meritocracy. Now I have meritocracy-based selection or the appointment of the professor or assistant professors in the IITs. The 3 organizations or 3 fields which have been deeply associated in my life are IIT Roorkee, where I went based on merit, and then the Indian Army, where I was selected based on merit, and rose to the rank of 3-star based on the merit alone, and then no other system works in the Indian Army. And then when I was a sportsman in my younger days, when I played for India for 6 years, the selection was based purely on performance and your ability to actually win medals for India. So merit alone was the criteria. So I'm product of the 3 systems: IIT Roorkee, then it was University of Roorkee, not the IIT, and the Indian Army and the sports. All 3 systems are based on selection, performance, or merit based. Now, how do I visualize this kind of threat? I'm not inside the IITs, I'm not a professor. So the professors, two professors sitting on my left and right, they can describe the threat in a much better way. But Rajiv ji, and the way Vijay you have said, if this is a threat, then it's a very serious issue. And I correlate this in the army parlance that a comprehensive national power of a country, or you can say total national power of a country, is some total of military, economics, hard, soft power, including science and technology, human resource, culture, everything put together is a sum total, which a country can project in front of the international community. IITs are contributing in a big way for the development of India and growth of India. And when it is, I say growth of India, it is the development of comprehensive national power of India. So any attack on IITs is actually an attack on development and growth of India and the sovereignty of India. So if the threat is real, I will not comment whether it is artificial, real, or hyped threat. That the two professors, and you know better than that. But if it is real, then it is a very serious issue. Caste system in India is prevalent. Right? When we are young child in our village, I've seen this. But things are changing. Things are totally changing. Today, the same people are sitting one-to-one on the same chair and drinking tea in the same cup of tea. So in the villages in the rural India, it has gone down to that level. So how long we'll continue to hype on this caste system, which is actually through the government resources or through the social awareness. The Pradhan, I'm come from a small village, which is pure Jat village, and we have a panchayat where a Dalit is a sarpanch. The MLA of my constituency is a Dalit. Now this is nobody is talking about the such systems in India. Why these things are not being talked about abroad? That how Dalits are being empowered by the same government, same society, and he's accepted as a sarpanch. And it is a Jat dominated, high caste dominated panchayat. So why we are not talking about it? So why only these isolated incidents, say in IIT Mumbai, or say little more, going to deeper this thing, IIT Chennai, are highlighted to malign the image of India that we are still casteist in our approach. In IIT, when we were even in the 70s, when I joined IIT Roorkee, we never talked about this caste at all. We used to brand each other like Fokies or Magga or Gissu. We had these kind of terms in IIT Roorkee. जो ज़्यादा पढ़ते हैं, they're called Gissus. और जो मग्गे हैं, जो रटते रहते हैं, they're called Maggas. Or Fokies who came from the city environment, who were convent educated, who could speak better English than people like me, who were the product of the government schools, Hindi medium, and joined IIT Roorkee after 12th. So there was like you can say humor amongst the student community on these lines, pull each other's leg. But I never witnessed any casteism in Roorkee from 75 to 79. Now I'm the president of 44,000 alumni community. And we are one alumni community, and we have chapters all over. And amongst the alumni community, I have never seen this kind of. Nobody ever talks about this. So who are these people who are inventing this? That the IIT alumni or IITs are casteist. Yes, we firmly believe in inclusive growth. If I have not got good education coming from a farmer's background, I wouldn't have become, or had I not gone to Roorkee, I wouldn't have become an army officer. Because you can say I didn't actually belong, I had no so-called culture capital to start with. But I have to fight my own battles. But today my children have accumulated some culture capital. This is real. This is the fact of the life. So is culture capital is bad for the family or bad for a student? If he is coming from a particular background, like our children from defense background do very well outside. They may not be very good in studies, but they are all-rounders because of the culture capital they acquire in the army life. So is it bad, or it is something negative, or it is their fault? So why they are being branded in this particular manner? Inclusive growth should start at the grassroots level. If you want to bring everybody at par, then target school level education, where there are divisions. By the time they come to IIT, they are 17 or 18 years old. And everybody comes minimum after 12th standards. So what happens from 1st to 12th? That is the critical issue. So who's focusing on that? And then what happens like in army, we have a very good system of training people. Like you are trained for an appointment, like junior command course trains you to become a very good company commander. Or the senior command course for you to become a very good battalion commander. Now these are the structured courses. So why don't we have something similar in the academics? So you prepare the people who have no culture capital or who have not enjoyed the benefits of good education or who have not been able to acquire good skills. So when they come to IITs, put them through some courses, allow them to grow, help them in accumulating that kind of knowledge and confidence. Like I was mentoring a student of IIT Gandhinagar during Corona on communication skills and leadership skills through social media. Now I am from IIT Roorkee and mentoring somebody else who belongs to IIT, and she was a Dalit girl. Because she approached me through director that I want to acquire these skills. So these kind of programs, if are run in the schools or in the colleges, to actually identify the weak students and then allow and give them wherewithal to grow. Little help, little mentoring, little coaching, I am sure they will come up. But once they compete outside the world, it has to be purely based on merit. You can train, you can push, groom, whatever you want to do, but the competition and the appointment has to be. Now imagine, I was talking to Professor, imagine all the vacancies in the IITs are filled up, say about 100, 150 numbers, based on reservation. What happens to the students? What happens to the merit? So, you selectively, progressively bring them up, have coaching programs, bring them up to a certain level, and then appoint them. Or once they are appointed, give them probation period that if you don't require so much standards, but again it may generate into a different domain. Because somebody will say this has been thrown out because of the casteist or the some other criteria. He was not given the adequate time to prepare. But this is the only way actually to bring everybody, and you can bring inclusive growth by this method. Indian Army has lived through the deficiencies, but we never compromise with the merit. We said we will have officers of this class only because they are the youngsters, they are the leaders. So in my view, I compliment you, Raji, for identifying these threats and actually propagating, again reinforcing the merit-based criteria, which is the sole criteria for excellence. If you want quality, then merit is the only criteria. If you don't want quality and you focus on quantity, then you can adopt any method. Modifications, reforms, you can structure, but they should be slowly in a manner that the quality of education in IITs is not compromised in any manner. Changes are constant, changes should be brought in, reforms should be brought in to ensure that we produce high quality engineers who were respected earlier, who are respected now, and who will be respected abroad in India. That's why the IITs have a name. And you should not do anything to kill this brand name, and you should not do anything to tarnish or to dismantle the system of the IITs. IIT should be actually strengthened by everybody, by the government, by you, by the alumni community, and by everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Jai Hind, God bless.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks. I would now request Professor Ramgopal Rao to please share some remarks on the book.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I am, probably qualified to speak on this topic because of three reasons. One is I have been teaching in IITs, IIT Bombay and IIT Delhi precisely for 25 years now. I've just finished my 25th year of teaching in IITs. I was also director of IIT Delhi for 6 years until last year. And third thing is, fortunately or unfortunately, I was chairman of the committee formed by the Ministry of Education to decide about faculty reservations in IITs, how to implement faculty reservations in IITs. That committee had, along with me while I was a chairman, director IIT Kanpur, director IIT Roorkee, registrar IIT Bombay. So all 5 IITs were, 7 IITs were represented in some way. And so these are the 3 reasons on which I am qualified to probably speak on this topic. And I have read the book. I think the book takes an academic view of meritocracy versus the casteism and all that. I think that's all right. And but I will only talk about the administrative issues of these implementations and their repercussions. And in fact, if you study why in this country we haven't been able to build any other brand other than IITs in the education, state universities are all declining, right? Every year you see horror stories coming out of state universities. The central universities are barely surviving, right? But IITs are still, talked in high terms, and all over the world they have a recognition, they have a brand value and all of that. So, but I think to understand what repercussions these policies can have on IITs, we need to see why state universities have actually failed to live up to their promise. I mean, even good state universities have gone down so much now. Look at Calcutta University, look at Bombay University, look at Pune University. Now, they are all they are in deep kind of a trouble right now. The reason is basically, it's concerning the faculty recruitment. In state universities, what happens is faculty positions are approved by the local state government. And state governments never approve these positions. The university goes to the local government saying that I have, this many vacancies, let's say 150 faculty vacancies, give me permission to recruit the faculty. Then the state governments are always under pressure in terms of finances, and those approvals take years to come by. But then, with so many faculty vacancies, the universities cannot run the programs and they teach their students. They start recruiting the contract faculty. So that is how this contract faculty thing came into the state universities. When you are recruiting contract faculty, you don't go through the elaborate norms for advertisement and all that. Whoever is available nearby, you hire them, and because you pay them so less, the good people would not even apply. So they enter this system. Once they enter the system, state governments delay by years in approving the faculty positions. And then these people are entrenched in the system, the contract faculty, they form unions. And then now they cannot be thrown out. You have served Delhi University. You see, people have been serving as contract faculty for 20 years now, right? I mean, now suddenly somebody wakes up and says, you go away. Now, where will these people go after spending 20 years in the university? There are unions and there are all kinds of problems, and people go to court. The moment matters end up in court, it will take years and years. And without proper faculty strength, without good merit kind of a thing among the faculty in terms of recruitments, obviously the universities will degrade. The instruction quality, the research, everything suffers. And as a result, now our universities are all going down the hill, and I think that is the biggest challenge. Why in IITs we don't have a problem? In IITs we don't have a problem because there is an IIT council ruling, right, which is chaired by the minister. By some 20 years ago, there was a ruling made by the council that all faculty recruitments go as per the ratio. For every 10 students, you have one pre-approved faculty position. It is pre-approved. Now we don't have to take ministry permission or anybody. And for every one faculty member, we have 1.1 staff approved, pre-approved. Meaning for every 10 faculty, I can recruit 11 staff. For every 10 students, I can recruit one faculty member. And these are approved. As and when we increase the number of students, I know that I have 100 positions and I can go ahead, advertise, recruit, and the best people will come. And we have never implemented the reservations in the faculty cadre. And the IIT system also is a flexible cadre. What is a flexible cadre? Once somebody attains a certain merit as an assistant professor, you can be promoted to the associate professor position or to the professor position. And it doesn't depend on how many positions you have in the associate professor or professor position. That is what the flexible cadre is. You are not stuck for your promotion because somebody has not retired. That system doesn't exist in IITs. So therefore, everything is merit now. The whole faculty recruitments are done on the merit, the appointments, their promotions, everything is based on the merit. And that is what has, and then their positions are all pre-approved. No, I don't have to go to any ministry, any government bureaucrat to, get the position approved. That is the single reason why IITs have survived. The moment you start getting the best quality faculty, right, into the system, of course, they will build the best institutions. You take the IIT Delhi faculty, those 700 faculty we have, take them to Ethiopia, they can build another IIT in Ethiopia. I can guarantee you that they can build another IIT in any other country in the world. So to me, the biggest challenge is how do we retain this flexibility in the faculty cadre. So now the government, the reason why our committee was appointed was, they said now you need to implement reservations in the faculty. Now, how do the reservations thing actually work? To fill up the faculty positions as per reservation, you need to make a roster, right? I have 100 positions available, right? 50% are reserved. Out of 50%, this many for SCs, this many for STs, this many for OBCs and all that. And we have a flexible cadre. We don't even have any fixed number of positions at the associate professor level, at the professor level. But reservations apply for all the cadres. So now the question is, how do you recruit people when you have a flexible cadre, when you don't even know your total number of faculty? How would you even allocate them to different as per the reservation? That is the big problem now the ministry is facing. As long as IITs follow the flexible cadre, you cannot implement reservations. Now, what is the solution to that? The solution now, what is being discussed at the highest levels is to remove that flexible cadre. Now, the moment you remove the flexible cadre, I can tell you it will have deep repercussions on the IIT system. If I am an assistant professor, I have got the country's highest national award, let's say the equivalent of Nobel Prize or anything, but I cannot get promoted because somebody is not retiring at the higher levels. And now I will get frustrated in my position because I don't have a chance of ever getting promoted. I will look for, Ashoka University, I will look for Shivnadar University, and I will start, quitting the institute. And then once these faculty leave these institutions, I can tell you it really doesn't matter, how good quality students you have, everything will collapse in no time, because teachers are the ones which are the pillar of the IIT system, the faculty. You talk to any alumni, the people they remember are the dedication, the passion, of the teachers, how they taught them and how much of pains they took to explain. Everybody has a personal story to narrate. So to me, the IITs will get destroyed as soon as we start removing the flexible cadre. And without removing the flexible cadre, nobody will have a solution how to implement reservations in the IIT system. So now that is my biggest reason to worry about the IIT brand. And that we don't know how to address it right now. Nobody knows right now. In the ministry level, they are discussing. In IITs, we are resisting. But how do you implement it? Without the flexible cadre system removed, how do you implement reservation? So that is a big problem now the government is facing, and this is the practical issue. And student reservations we have already implemented, right? I mean, what is there to now among IITs? 70% of students come through one quota or the other. 70%. Now I can tell you in private how it all adds up to 70%. 70% of students come through one quota or the other. And now in computer science department at IIT Delhi, you will have students from 20th rank in the JEE Advanced to 20,000 rank. All the 20th rank to 20,000 students in the same class, taught by the same teacher, using the same curriculum, right? Now you imagine the challenge a teacher faces, when you have such disparity in the student community in terms of their learning ability, right? If it is 20 students, 60 students we are managing, you could have taught them individually, you could have paid that personal attention. But now our class sizes are like 400 students. In the first year classes, now a teacher is teaching 400 students because of the Mandal Commission, we increased the intake by 50%. Because of the economically weaker section, we increased by 25%. So now because of that, IITs have doubled their intake, in a short span of 5 to 7 years kind of a thing. And now, we haven't been able to recruit enough teachers because even in the general category, faculty are not available. And there are 300 faculty positions vacant at IIT Delhi, another 300 faculty positions vacant at IIT Bombay. Why are they vacant? Because we are not able to find that high quality people that we are looking for the faculty. So we are not able to increase the faculty strength. We are increasing the student strength because of various reasons now. There is no individual attention. The diversity in the class has grown to a very large extent now, like 20th ranker to 20,000 ranker in the same class. Obviously, you will have student problems. I mean, when somebody with very much less ability to grasp concepts sits with another student who is the best in the world. I mean, 20th rank JEE Advanced is like a genius by any country standard. Now, when they see each other, there is obviously going to be a pressure on these students, and whatever problems you are seeing, what are coming out of IITs is all because of that. So we need to increase the faculty strength now. We need to have more faculty, more infrastructure. And but I'm not a great fan of these examinations, but there is no other recourse. How do you admit students when the ratio is 1:500, right? For out of 500 students, if you have to recruit one student, the examinations will be made tough. The examinations will be to eliminate people rather than to select people, right? That is what will eventually become. It's a supply and demand situation. You cannot do anything about it. And then, when you do that, of course, students will go to coaching institutes, students will do all of that is required, and then take those exams and clear those exams. I think, at the student level, IITs have implemented reservations without much of a resistance, I can say. And because we also realize maybe time has come for us to open the doors to all other sections of the society and all of that. But as if you are lowering the quality of students, quality I am judging it by their ranks, then you have to increase the quality of faculty, right? As you lower this quality, if you increase the quality of faculty and strength of the number of faculty, then you will be able to address this problem better. The class sizes need to become smaller, when you increase diversity among students. But we are going in the opposite direction now. The class sizes are going up. Now we want to reduce the faculty quality and leave aside merit, and then admit people or recruit people based on whatever criteria that you have. Remove the flexible cadre system. I think these are what I am worried about as part of the IIT system. It's not that ministry is not unaware of that. Everybody agrees in private with all of that, but it is all politics now, right? I mean, to win elections, nobody can say that in public, and everybody has to, say the right things which are politically correct. And everybody is now, there's a compulsive kind of a thing, for them to follow, and which is a problem. How do you solve the problem? For the politicians, winning elections, of course, is important, and they cannot take any decisions which go against this general kind of a feeling that exists in the society. It's a problem that we have created for ourselves in the society. Everybody needs to be blamed for that. I don't know what the easiest solution is. So.